Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. So today we are doing Get Ready With Me. And of course, as always, I will chat while I'm putting my makeup on. I don't have many new things. Remember when I bought the Mario concealer and powder? I really enjoyed them. So I thought I'd try his Surreal Skin foundation. So I bought it. It's a bit too dark for me because I'm pale like a ghost, but I soon will be fake tanning, so I wanted it a bit darker. I got it in the olive shade, so it's 12.0. I have my thoughts about it. I won't be talking too much about the makeup, but I will list everything down below. This foundation is quite luminous, and when you look at it, it almost has like shimmering bits in it. It reminds me a bit of, I had once L'Oreal True Color, I think, foundation that had very similar look to it. So this is the color. I love olive undertones. I don't know if I have some olive undertone in my skin, but olive ones, neutrals are best for me, really. So it's a really pretty foundation. It looks like skin. It's gorgeous. It has that beautiful luminosity. But I always think to myself, oh, I shouldn't have worn earrings. When you are using foundation like this, for it to remain this luminous, you shouldn't really powder it. But there is no way I could not powder a foundation, especially luminous one. It would be off my face, I reckon, in no time. So as soon as you start powdering it, the luminosity goes. So I'm thinking, what is the point? And also, most luminous foundations definitely make me greasy after a few hours. So, and this one does too. After a few hours, I'm very shiny on my forehead, and I've even been just powdering with this. Normally, you know, I set my foundation with mineral powder foundation, which is not as mattifying, so I understand that the foundation would be shiny if I did that. But even if I set with this powder all over, which I will today, after a few hours I am very shiny. So it is very pretty foundation. If you've got very dry skin, you probably will love it. But for me, I like it, don't get me wrong, but again, if someone told me I can keep only one foundation, this would not be it. Now, I have been thinking about something recently, and as you can see, the video is called Talking About Money is Vulgar. And what made me think about it is this video popped up on my YouTube feed, and it was this young man. I think he was in Florida. He was outside some sort of shopping village, shopping center, and he was just stopping people and asking them how much they earn, how much they make a year. And when he just said that, I was like, excuse me. But these people were very casual and very happy to divulge this information. And I found that very bizarre. And people were like, yeah, I make 80,000 a year, I make 500,000 a year. And I was thinking, wait, is it a prank? It was just so open, no hesitation, no weird feeling. I was thinking to myself, wait, is this normal? If you, in the UK, if someone asked you, especially a stranger on the street, like how much you earn or how much you paid for something, they would think, are you out of your mind? Any Brits in the comments, feel free to agree with me. So I will be speaking mostly about the US and the UK, because obviously I've lived most of my life in the UK. I'm not going to talk about Poland because I was very young when I lived in Poland, and I don't really remember how that was, about money. But obviously I watch enough of people from the USA and I live here, so I will be mostly talking about these two countries. But feel free, if you're from any country in the world, tell me what is the attitude to asking about money in your country. That would be so interesting. So that's when I started thinking about culture around money. And it is such a difference depending on where you are in the world. So it made me think, is it a cultural difference or is it more to it? So in the UK, asking someone about their salary, how much they paid for something, or their personal finances can be seen as quite intrusive and impolite. It's not typically something that people talk about openly, and there is an expectation of privacy around financial matters. I'm using now the Mario concealer in 200. The idea is that money and financial status should not define who you are, person's worth. So asking about these things is often seen crass or rude. In contrast, in the US, especially in a more competitive environment, there is much more open attitude towards discussing money. I suppose some people see it as a measure of determining their success, or to gain insight of how other people do it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to call anybody out for being rude or nosy. It was just very, very interesting. We almost think we are so similar in the UK and USA, but there is so many, I think, cultural differences. It's like I wouldn't dream of asking even my friend how much she earns, how much she paid for her house. And I'm talking usually about big things, because like, I don't know, lipstick or whatever, but like these big purchases. Unless she wanted to divulge this information herself, which is fine, I would never ask. Honestly, I don't think our parents know how much we earn. They would never think to ask. I mean, they could. It's not like, oh my God, if you ask me this, you are the worst parent in the world. But there is this hesitation and like an unspoken rule, don't ask unless I want to tell you myself. It's not that here in the UK we want to keep it secret. It's just that generally money isn't something we like to flaunt or discuss openly. Some people probably are, there is always exception to the rule, but I'm talking in general. And maybe even now with the social media and stuff like this, maybe things are changing, I don't know. But I'm talking from my perspective, my age, and from what I've observed. So if you ask someone, for example, how much your car costs, you'll be like, why? Are you going to buy it for me? Why are you asking? And it's true, but why would you want to know? You can go to a car showroom, find out yourself. Maybe I got a deal, maybe I did this, maybe I got a discount. Everybody's circumstances are different. Why do you want to know? Are you just being nosy and want to judge me by how much money I spend? It's that sort of way of thinking. So if someone asks you how much do you earn, it's almost like asking a woman how much do you weigh. It's personal, it's private, none of your business. And people rather keep it to themselves. It's kind of considered, well, vulgar, honestly. Whereas in the US, I feel it's totally different, especially in big cities or more competitive environments. People are much more open about how much they earn. I wonder if it's... I've noticed that in the US, people really champion people when they're doing well. They all, for you, yeah, well done, keep going, well done. Here, I don't know what it is. Is it jealousy? But where it comes from? People don't like to see you succeed here in the UK. In general, I'm obviously not saying that every British person is like that, but the overall culture. And whenever the times are hard, there is something wrong, most people blame the rich people. And I'm not talking about like Amazons and Googles, just the ordinary, everyday life people that have made it and have the money. Instead of maybe thinking, wow, that's great, how did you do that? I would like to do that. And also these people, the business owners, I suppose they employ people, so they give people jobs. I don't know, that's just me speculating. I just can't quite get where that comes from, why there is such a difference between the two countries. Okay, let me just tell you, I am going to set all over my face with the Mario powder, with the puff. So I load the puff like this, and then I take off the excess on my hand and then press it in. I've noticed that this sets your makeup much better than normally. I just lightly dust powder with a brush, and that really doesn't last. So I feel like you have to press it in. So there, it looks quite pretty. My zoom is not working. Oh, it is. There you go. Oh, I should have shown you close up without the powder. So at first that's why I don't like it. It's so matte and flat. That's why I never really set with powder. But to be honest, after a few hours, when your natural oils come through, it looks better. I wanted to share this with you because I often get asked questions like that in my comments. How much I paid for my car, how much my house is, how much I paid, to have my eyes done. And I'm straight away like, why do you want to know? Why do you want to know how much I paid for something? Again, is it because you want to pay for it for me? Or because you want that same thing done? Well, if you do, you can research it yourself, because obviously things cost different depending on where you live, what you need done. Everybody's situation is different. So I always find that, I don't know, it might be just me, I could never do that. I could never go and ask someone how much you paid for something. And I understand the curiosity, but I just find it rude. Just personally, I don't feel comfortable talking about money in this way. Because also, at the same time, flip it, even if no one asked me and I sat here and kept saying constantly, oh, I bought this and it cost that much, and I did this and it cost that much, wouldn't that come across as very braggy, like I'm bragging and look how brilliant I am, I have more than you have? I'm not talking about myself, but in general, because I'm not rich. I would find that also really cringy. Yeah, I just feel that talking too much about money, it's a bit vulgar, whichever way you look at it. People that asking, I find it intrusive and rude, and people that do brag about it, a bit arrogant. But like I said, this is probably just because of the cultural differences. It's not that this is wrong. It's just how I am, and I feel that's how things are here in the UK. So I'm not judging anyone that talks about it. Well, I would if someone just sat here and kept saying how rich they are and they have this and they have that. If it was that way done, yeah, I would be probably judging this person. I'm going to be honest. But just like sharing, oh, I've earned this much this month. Oh, I just bought a house and cost me that much. I just had a facelift and it was that much. I just couldn't do it. And I also feel like talking about your earnings or purchases too openly can sometimes create this environment of competition, trying to compare yourself to other people. And I would never want to do that, and it's not a nice environment to be in, because you know it can make people feel bad if they can't afford something, or they feel that they're not as good because they don't have something, and that's never the case. Money and your wealth doesn't determine what kind of person you are, and it doesn't determine your worth. Your worth is much more than the ching ching. And you know, don't get me wrong, there is plenty of people, Brits, that brag about money. It's not like, oh, no one talks about it. I'm talking more about asking about it, but there is a lot of people that will brag. But believe me, these people are looked down upon for doing this. And I think these people mostly do it in their own wealthy circles, and I feel like it's their competition more than anything. And also, I wonder if it's something to do with the class, because you know, here in the UK we still have very much the class system. You've got like the aristocracy, you have the middle class, and you have the working class. And maybe it's from history, when the working class, the poor people, were always blaming the aristocracy for their misfortune, probably rightly so. So yes, I really don't know. It's just a different culture. It's not a big deal. It's just I'm mainly talking about asking other people about their finances. So again, there are people that brag here about money as well, but you won't find many people asking, at least in my experience. If you are a Brit, please back me up on this, or is it just in my mind? I'm going to use the Sigma New Mod palette. It's a gorgeous palette. Also, I go in between. You know how much I love the Benefit 24-hour gel, brow setting gel. I love it. I've bought hundreds of them in my life. But then last year, I think I tried the new Anastasia one. Is it Brow Freeze? Yes, Brow Freeze. And I always buy the small one. I don't know, I find it. I usually buy small one of those. I've got a big one here, but I don't know, I prefer the small ones. Because I think, obviously, there's a bit more product in a big one, and I feel after a while it gets gloopy. So I like the small ones. And I really like this one because I prefer the brush of this one. It really brushes through your brows so nicely, and it does stay all day. The only thing is, because this is sort of milky color, I suppose it dries clear, but can sometimes, if you put too much, you can see it looks a bit gloopy, whereas this one is just see-through, so you don't get that problem with this one. But I go between these two. So I guess the takeaway here is that while some cultures are very open about money, others aren't, and that's okay. we all have different comfort levels when it comes to talking about our finances, and I think we should respect each other's comfort levels. I prefer to keep things like that private, but if you are comfortable with sharing that, I'm fine with it. Like I said, you know, it's not like my friends and I never talk about money, but they usually volunteer, or I volunteer the information. We don't ask. And I probably get asked more often or see it a lot because 60% of my viewers are in the USA. I have very small portion of people watching me here in the UK. I think something like maybe 20% of my viewers are from the UK, and then the rest is the rest of the world. So yeah, I see this more often on my channel, probably for that reason. And I'm always taken aback, but I suppose this is quite normal for you in the USA. Well, I don't know. I presume from especially that video that I watched. And I see people, you know, on YouTube talking quite openly sometimes about finances and things like that. And I always feel like cringy. I'm like, oh my God, don't say it, don't say it. I am so British now, people. That is unbelievable. But to be honest, I have lived here longer than in my country of birth. So I always will be Polish, but I do feel very much British at the same time. So let me know in the comments your thoughts. Do you think I'm being overly British about this? Or do you get where I'm coming from? And also, like I said at the beginning, whatever country you are from, please let me know how do you go about talking about finances in your culture, in your country. I will find it so interesting to read. So this foundation looks really, really pretty. And already I can see that my oils are slightly coming through. I haven't sprayed my face with anything, and the luminosity is coming back in, because at first it looked very powdery just straight after I powdered my face. So yes, I think it's a lovely foundation. Honestly, if you ever thought of buying it, especially if you have dry skin, I think you will like it. I like this color. It actually doesn't look too dark now. Well, it looks darker than my chest. But that's because the powder makes it even paler. I have worn this foundation and set it with the mineral powder. It gave me a bit darker color, but I would say towards the end of the day was even more greasy. So I would have to touch up my T-zone. It's only my T-zone there, and mostly my forehead and my chin. They get oily. So yeah, I could still like dab the oil off and touch up with powder, and it would still look good. It doesn't break up. That's not what I mean. This foundation never broke up on me. Just that, you know, it is probably more suitable for dry skin, and I think I have combination skin, like normal combination. Like I said, my forehead and my chin are the oil slicks. I also have two lipsticks from Mario, and these are the Super Satin. So I thought I'd try them. People say they are gorgeous, very saturated color and beautifully shiny. So I chose, this one is his favorite, I think, Bronx Baby. And then I got really bright one, which is West Village. Like a fuchsia. So let me just put them on, just so you see it. So this is Bronx Baby. Obviously it will look differently on every skin tone. Like now I'm really pale, that's the color. If you have a lot of tan, this probably will look a bit lighter. I would say this is nice everyday color. It's not too dark, it's not too light. Obviously I did it without lip liner. Oh, I have his lip liners too. I went to his website and it was like he had 25% sale, so I got all this for a very good price. I also have his lip liners which come with a lip brush, which is great. It's nice to feather out your lip liner. So what is this one? This is Kelley. This is Kelley. So I thought that one would look nice with the West Village. And then this one is Lauren. Can't see anything, honestly. And this is Lauren. So I thought Lauren would look nice with this one. So let me take that one off and I will apply the West Village. It's amazing color. Oh, I've noticed that I didn't put mascara on. I haven't even finished my eyes and I'm on to lipsticks, but it doesn't matter. Let me do my mascara at least, because my eyes look very unfinished. By the way, I really like the House Labs mascara. I'm still using the cheapy one, my favorite. But if I use this on its own, I'm quite happy with it. And sometimes I will top up the Catrice one with this one. Do I want anything else on this eye? Maybe put something a bit darker in a corner here. Do you know, sometimes I think I really try to do more delicate eye makeup. I just can't do it. Well, I can, but because with me it is more about the process, about playing, and that's why I add more and more, because I enjoy the whole painting. Not thinking much about the final outcome, and I can't ever do it. But what was it? I was reading some article. Where did I see it? I don't know, in some magazine. And I saw a woman, very elegant, a picture of a woman. Maybe she was a bit older than me. And she had full-on makeup. And I thought, actually, that looks a bit clownish. And then I thought, sorry. And then I thought, you know, I'm used to seeing myself like this every day. So to me, this is normal. But I thought to myself, do I look clownish with all that makeup? So that's why I try, and not succeeding, to do a bit more natural makeup. And I'm talking about my eye makeup, because I will never give up on foundation. Okay, let's take this lipstick off. And let me do this one. Okay, where is this lip liner? I think this is Kelley or Kelsey, I can't see. So that's the lip liner. Okay, watch this lipstick. Maybe I will feather that in a bit. I love the little brush on the end, very useful. Also, you could use it to apply your lipstick with, because sometimes those really bright lipsticks you need to be very precise with. Isn't it gorgeous? And you know, as soon as the sun comes out, I like to wear my bright lipsticks, but this one is almost like a pinky red. I wouldn't say this is true fuchsia, but I like it. It's lovely. Okay, my lovelies. I will list everything I used in a description box. Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think I'm being overly British about those things? Or do you get where I'm coming from? And wherever you are from, let me know what it's like in your country. Do people talk about money, or is it taboo? So thank you so much for watching, and stay fabulous. Bye.